Hello. We've got Carlos Diaz Padron. Hello, my friend. Hola, ¿qué tal? We've got Chrissy Kellums, the person with questions and judgment on the fact that she sleeps with Chris Bowers. We've got Carrie C. We've got Trevor Pennick. Hello. We've got Dean. We've got Tony Deerdorf back with us again. Always vertical, never filling up that box. That's what his ex-girlfriend said. And we've got Rich Higgins. We've got Avery Dellinger with us. Avery disappeared as I was saying that. Taylor and Amena. Hello to all of you.
Hello.
Hey.
I love that you shout out Taylor's audience every time. You always forget that he works on the show. He is our producer.
Swiping very quickly, okay?
It's we'll get through it. It's fine. Anyway, welcome everybody to the show. We appreciate the support. Yesterday was actually record-breaking for us, both in numbers of viewers as well as money that we raised. So thank you guys for doing that. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I guess you have one person from the Harry Potter franchise, things change. So we appreciate all you loyal Potter fans for helping us out on that one. And of course, we have with us. Can we shout out Trevor?
Don't forget Trevor. That's what I just said.
So we don't just have Trevor in the audience. That's Trevor Pennick from O-Town, who's joining us. So thank you very much for being here, Trevor. We're happy to have you. And with that, let's start. Can we do the game early today?
Sure.
I want to open up the game early because here, what we're gonna do the game based on Bowers' wonderful wardrobe choices. And look, I can't live up to this. I've just been choosing which T-shirt should I wear, which one is clean. Bowers, meanwhile, has a whole rotation of glitter that he's getting through. So in honor of Bowers, our game today is going to be, what is the most ridiculous article of clothing that you own? Not that you have owned, that you own right now. You need to stand up for your choices and say what you own now. Because sometimes you see people's Halloween costumes and you're just like, wow, that's really creative. And sometimes you're just like, why the fuck do you own that? So that said,
Chrissy just threw down her headsets and ran to what I assume is a closet. So I'm excited for this.
So our game today, the way you play the game, as always, anyone can participate. We're happy to read entries, whether you throw it into Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, or right here on the live chat. But if you throw in $5 with it or more, then you will be entered into our contest to win a future ticket to participate in our live video audience, as well as all of the albums from our host. That is 12 albums. So make sure to throw in your entry to the contest.
And that's because, by the way, as a reminder, you can always join us every day here on screen with us, except Mondays, Thursdays, because the Social Distancing Social Club is taped before a live video audience.
because we have figured out what no one else in entertainment seems to know, which is that an audience is how you get laughs. How the fuck has no one else figured this out? Watching. I mean, look, laughing.
Spices right there. Steve just gave away the farm. We have an audience because that's how comedy works. Steve, what have you done? The cat is out of the bag. I don't even realize it. Damn it.
Meanwhile, every other comic is just performing to their cat. That is it.
Whoa, those are fighting words. I don't like that.
I'm sorry, Liz. I apologize.
I was doing that before the quarantine, and I want credit for it.
It's also just because
I predicted this.
Most comedians are only ever doing it for the pussy anyway.
The amount of, and look, Laugh Aid was a wonderful cause, but the amount of time I was just watching being like, you rich fucks. Like, there were so many people on there where I'm just like, that's your kitchen? What in the fuck? Like, it was hard not to be a little upset.
Have the tact to film from a shed, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
Or you can make your own background.
Mm-hmm.
I made my own background.
That's smart.
Wait, you're not really there, Liz?
I'm not really in front of this gorgeous sunset outside.
Chain link
Are
fence.
you hiding a fancy room or something you don't want us to see out of embarrassment?
I'm hiding an entire apartment that is a room. I didn't want you to see all that I had in one shot.
Understand that.
This is actually
as
this is a
was said-
virtual.
As
Yours
was said
virtual?
exactly that during Laugh Aid last night in the segment that Tom Papa was hosting. Ray Romano was in it, and then they showed my serious message way earlier in the show, and Ray was in his wife's closet, and then I was in my living room, and Tom Papa goes, as you just saw there, the difference of comedians who need help and those that don't. Ray was hiding in his closet to hide his wealth, and Ben was in front of everything he owns.
I apologize. I've been using this fake background here. Let me go back to my house. So, yeah. Anyway, this show brought to you by Jimmy Kennedy Bone Broth, our sponsor.
Jamie Kennedy and a famous woman of his choice sit in a hot tub for an hour, and when it's done, we ship the bone broth straight to you.
Yeah. I totally forgot I had that in my virtual backgrounds. Wait, I also have this one. This one's my favorite. Here's Bowers.
You guys are laying on each other.
Let's cuddle. Here.
Social distance. Social distance.
Hold on. I'll go far away. Here. All right. Oh wait, I gotta go further. Okay. So yeah, we appreciate all the suggestions and everything already coming in. I know people are already playing the game. And Queen Jarrett Rachel.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
And do we have any super chats coming in yet?
Yeah, we've got Grant 2053. He gave $5. He said, "Bet, huge fan." I'm guessing that bet is like the colloquial, like, you got it.
No, he meant to contribute to the BET live stream that's happening right now. It's just Kevin Hart is hosting it right now, and it's hard to compete.
I always get confused. Luke's Trucking Life gave $20. He said, "Just wanted to take a second to say thank you to you all for bringing laughter and joy to these crazy times. It's greatly appreciated. Hope all is going as well as it can."
Well, thank you much, Luke. We appreciate that. And by the way, one thing I want to bring up, because I had a fun thing I shared to my social media today. I had someone message me and tell me that they were going to come to one of my shows and that they've done stand-up and maybe he can get on stage too. And I replied and I said, maybe if you go to Seahawks game, you can quarterback a couple downs.
Yeah. It's exactly like when people, it's so frustrating when this happens, when even just on social media, when somebody messages you and they're like, I'm a huge fan, dude. Will you follow me back? No, because I'm not a huge fan of yours.
I've never had someone say they were a fan of mine.
Tim and I come from the same school. Tim and I come from the same school of comedy. No fans or jokes, just wearing stupid shit and being.
Tim is actually sitting in front right now.
Trump University.
Tim is actually sitting right now in front of his best wall. So
actually, my best wall is my girlfriend's apartment. It's very nice.
I should have guessed because you're indoors. So that's
and there's light. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Do hope that Brett Trucking Life, who just generously gave us $20, is just listening to the audio, because keep your eyes on that road if you can.
Yeah.
I don't think Trucking Life has changed.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. If anything, we need them a little more now to ship all this shit. But also, Trucking Life is probably pretty solitary, with the exception of like the Flying J Travel Plaza. there's really no social life there. So we appreciate you hauling all that stuff. Thank you
Does
much.
it count as social distancing if you're just having glory hole sex on the road as a truck driver?
It's a truck driver. I'm glad you put that one in there in case you just as a truck driver, no. But
That
for the
wasn't a
rest of us,
tangent.
absolutely.
That wasn't a non sequitur.
I believe Dr. Anthony Fauci just covered this today in the press conference. I think what he said, I might be paraphrasing, was that as long as you Lysol your dick when you done, he's good. And then Trump jumped right in. He's like, this is an area where I've got some expertise. A lot of people agree, not everybody, but some people have been agreeing that you can put your penis into a hole in the wall, and on the other side, you're putting your penis into America, and no one knows, no one cares.
The real key also is you have to wash your penis afterward, and you have to sing "Happy Birthday" while you do it, so you get through the full.
Making glory holes great again.
Yeah. All right. With that,
I have a question for Queen Rachel Jarrett. If you're filling in for Rachel, here's my question: how do you pronounce the heroine in the Harry Potter series? How do you pronounce it?
This is. I get this question all the time. Nobody was actually doing heroin in Harry Potter series. I know that because it's like a lot of like magical terms and stuff like that. People think that like everybody was on heroin, and Dumbledore's really safe all the time. But that was just like a character choice. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
By the way, that was one of the better yes ands we've ever had on the show.
Yes.
Thanks, Jared.
That was great.
Jared, you're so stupid.
I've been a
Hermione,
pretty
of
happy
course it's
Popper fan for
Hermione.
years.
Obviously it's
Hermione.
Hermione.
Yeah, for those who weren't on the show yesterday Rachel pronounced it as Hermione. And it was the funniest thing I've ever heard. She goes, who do you think would win in a fight between Hermione? And we're like, oh, Jesus.
I think Jesus would win, frankly. But that said, Brittany Foxcroft threw in $5 and says, well, Bowers owns that jacket, and I don't own anything more ridiculous than that. So she threw in $5 to participate in the contest to yield to Bowers. That's amazing.
Can you win the contest? I think I can win the contest.
Oh, like
I bet you could.
I bet I could.
Something stupid. Yeah, probably.
Well, no, Bowers knows. My dad makes us clothes with his pictures on it every year.
What?
Yeah, I have sweatpants with my dad's face on it. I have sandals with my dad's face on it.
Wait, where on the sweatpants is your dad's face?
All over.
It's not underwear.
It's all over the sweatpants. No underwear yet. Probably next Christmas. Oh, I'm balding, by the way. And then I think the best one is the hoodie with on the front is a picture of my dad, and on the back is an advertisement for his company and the back of his bald head.
Wait, Tim, if I recall correctly, your dad sells blinds, right?
Window coverings and window covering accessories. That is correct, Steve.
So what better advertisement than something that makes people go blind? It's perfect.
Right.
Fits perfectly.
If he was better at Photoshop, he would have put a curtain that was shutting so you wouldn't have to see his head anymore.
Absolutely
So
perfect.
Ben,
All right, with
Ben,
that,
Ben, I have a question for Ben. Ben, what kind of have you got any? Did you get any love from Laugh Aid? Did anybody? Any big people reach out or any fans? How'd that go?
I mean, again, my piece aired at 3:30 in the morning Eastern time, and 12:30 Pacific. So I wouldn't say the love has been pouring in, but those who watched seemed to enjoy as they kept waking up slowly during my piece. I will be releasing my full piece on YouTube today or tomorrow, so everybody can enjoy it during waking hours.
excellent.
So
With
this is
Bob
kind of
Odenkirk, featuring Bob Odenkirk, everybody.
Very cool. Yeah. And
So
that
you
wasn't a
guys-
real tiger. That was a fake tiger, right?
That was a real tiger. I had that brought in from Animal Actors Unity Stage Group. I'm allowed to break the seal. I had a tiger in the video in my living room, and it was hard to work with, but it made the quarantine kind of fresh, you know?
Yeah. By the way, are we gonna introduce one of the comics, or are we just not gonna do that?
Yeah, are we ready? Are we ready for that? I mean, we're
Well,
about to.
wait, before you do, Steve, I think I can beat everybody's outfit. Can you give me 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna
So in
wear
the
it?
meantime, why
No,
don't we
no,
say
no.
hello?
I'm gonna show it to you. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're ready.
Your virtual background prevents us from seeing it.
Yeah,
Really?
you gotta
What about now?
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit!
So
That is. Can you take your background off so we could really see that whole thing?
Yeah,
hold on.
Please.
How do I take my background off?
hit more and then virtual background and then none?
Virtual background, none. Okay. Are you ready?
Now come back. Yep. So this is
Okay.
Carol
So this
Baskins,
is-
man.
this is the cat you perform to? I get it now.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's my
cool.
cat. I'm glad you guys saw it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well,
But, like, it was almost perfect timing because he was playing games with his friends and he dressed up weird for it. And then you guys were talking about tigers and weird outfits, and I was like, my boyfriend's in the other room wearing a cat onesie. It could not have been planned. It was so perfect. And I was like, I literally muted myself to be like, can I show the world what a weirdo you are?
I love that. Like, I thought you were like, oh, let me go to my closet and show you something. Like, no, here is what my boyfriend is in now.
He's playing video games in that outfit.
Yeah.
People are asking me how quarantine is going. I was like, this is him normally.
Yeah, this is. I didn't realize
Well, with
that
that,
movie Cats did catch on.
Yeah, no, I did. He's the one fan of the movie Cats.
And it's also another example of how society has changed in this quarantine life. In the past, you'd be sometimes chatting with a woman on a video chat, and you'd be like, "Take your clothes off." Now you're like, "Take off your virtual background. I want to see your real wall."
Oh yeah, we want to judge where you live.
That's right.
By the way, if anyone in the live video audience wants to ask a question or anything, throw it in the chat, and Queen Rachel Jarrett will find that for us, and then we can.
There was
bring it
one
on.
question asked there. Lily asked if the if the live video audience is allowed to show the clothing item, or is that unfair for the contest to the general audience?
No, you have an advantage. You're allowed to show the item, and when we do the contest, we always close with the contest. You can absolutely show the item. So
I've got an item that would win if I didn't have a treadmill blocking my closet, and the treadmill full of very heavy picture frames, making it unusable for months and months.
Yeah, that's not a treadmill. That's a shelf. As always, throw in a Venmo, top right corner of the screen, or you could PayPal at laughfromhome.com. I know we have a bunch of super chats that already came in that we need to catch up on. So let's start with some of the general super chats. Oh wait, sorry, Ben, you have something?
I just wanted to say I loved seeing you perform at the Enchantment of the Sea Comedy Club.
Thank you so much. I'm a mermaid. You actually can't see the fact that I have fins.
Queen Rachel, let's catch up with
Our super chats.
with some of the super chats. Let's obviously skip the game ones, but we can do some generals, and then what's coming in for Liz.
Of course. So we got Jerry Hickle gave $5. He says, Ben, please give me an idea what it was like to talk to Jesse Lee Peterson.
I was just on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. For those of you who don't know, he's a reverend who has some very ridiculous opinions. He doesn't believe in premarital sex, so he's lost me right there. And
like he doesn't support it, or he doesn't think it happens.
He doesn't support it. I think he knows it happens. He also is a guy who's pretty anti-African American, even though, spoiler alert, he is African American. And he loves talking about how you can't show emotions in front of women. And so ever since I've been on his show, all of his followers just keep going on to all of my posts across all of social media and just writing beta on all of my posts. It's a nightmare. But if you want to see me eviscerate a man on his own show about everything he says for about 1 hour, I do recommend you YouTube it and put some comments on there defending me if you can.
Oh, you guys could just all comment on all of Ben's social media and just write alpha, a whole
Please.
bunch of people really balance it
What
out.
an alpha comment, Ben. Loved how manly that was. That was
Yeah. All right, Jared, what do we got coming in?
All right, Z Bolster gave $10 for my heroin joke. He said Queen Jarrett for the heroin.
Nice.
Yeah, thank
By the
you,
way,
Z.
Bunst is a she.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our biggest
supporter of the show.
Richard Earl Deary Jr. gave $5. I'm guessing this is to Bowers. That jacket is so loud, I needed to have it as a ringtone.
Nice.
Just a quick question there. Isn't it weird how, for some reason, societally, when somebody uses an initial, we assume they're a man? Maybe it's for so long because all the big robber barons of our country were like H.W. Prescott. Just think
But isn't
initials.
J.K. Rowling's a woman?
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, but I
is a
think
woman.
people didn't know that, and J.K. did that to make people think she was a man to sell more books.
I think it's a great point, but Z Bunster's thing is actually ZE. So cool.
That's French, like the Bunster. Fair enough.
Yeah, the Bunster.
Bunster.
Writing.
Yeah.
All right.
What else we got, Jared?
My
Grant
sugar mama.
2053 gave $2 for Steve to plug post-COVID show in Destin, Florida.
I don't believe I have a show in Destin, Florida.
Well, I've got
but-
$2 that says you do, Steve.
All right. Apparently, form near you. Yeah. If anyone has $2 to kick in, I will do a show in whatever weird place you live near. So let's do this.
It'll probably cost that much to fly.
Somebody had an entry
Yeah.
for the. I'm not going to say what the entry was.
Don't do the
I'll
games.
later.
Yeah, do the
But
games.
somebody described a onesie, and then Z Bunster gave $5 in the super chat just for that onesie.
Wow.
All right, and so for Liz, we got Ben Garver gave $10 that just found you on YouTube a couple days ago. Hilarious! Exclamation point. Z Bunster gave $20. Said, "Hey Liz, ghosts be coming for you now."
Can we just talk about how Lily changed right before I went on stage and she looks like the Grim Reaper? She came in and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be murdered. Cool, that's a great way to do a set.
You're terrifying.
She looks like
Katie
a
Wiener.
really happy Sith.
Katie Wiener gave $2 for the tiger. Heather Scott gave $5 for Liz. You cracked me up. Candace B gave $5 for Liz. You are hilarious.
Oh, yay.
We've also got some Venmos coming in for Liz. Jennifer Kofed, regular support of the show, threw in $2, says for Liz. Ellen Shaw also threw in $2, says who you gonna call. Klaus throws $5 and says Liz was amazing. The ladies are all killing it on the show all the time. Absolutely agreed. And Tyler Stevens threw in $250 for Liz. And Todd Holloway threw in $25 and says, wonderful job, Liz. So you got a bunch of stuff coming up.
I just feel like that was like people just moving the decimal point over, where it's just like 250 and then it's 25. I like it. It's I appreciate. No math jokes. Okay.
Next one to be $250.
I do. That's what I'm encouraging a $250. Can I just tell people what my rent is in New York City?
Move that
You can-
decimal point.
Move the desk.
It's all very nice of everybody. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you. And are we, Jared, we caught up on Super Chats?
We are caught up on super chats.
Awesome.
So Liz,
Much appreciated.
I love the set, Liz. How did that feel comedically? Did it feel like real comedy for the first time in 3 weeks?
Yeah, I did. I actually did a corporate Zoom show, like a week into quarantine, which was about 25 people, and it was for it was called like Reading Plus or anything. It was like they were doing a happy hour and they wanted something just to, for morale or whatever. And what's funny about it is I don't know much about Zoom, so I can see Steve and Lily and is it Carrie and myself, but I don't know how to make it so it's the full Brady Bunch. So when I did the last Zoom show, I would just be staring a woman in the face as she would like either laugh or not laugh. Like this was actually so it was like almost like disappointing my mother at different points. Like it was just a little. It's like, you know, if you've ever done like those so at least this was like people were laughing and falling out of frame, and that felt good. It feels like I did a set. It feels like I was practicing a set for my friends as opposed to, and they were great. I don't want to say they weren't great, but what it would do is every 2 minutes, again, because I didn't know what I was doing, every 2 minutes it would just show somebody else from the audience. And like they were smiling, but it was so much eye contact that I found myself doing that thing when you do real stand-up where you look at the back of the room. So I was just looking at the top. I was looking at the top of the screen, trying not to make eye contact with these like revolving people.
I also love that basically, so you did a corporate gig on Zoom where like some people laughed and some people didn't, and you were like feeling self-conscious. So a corporate gig.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. A corporate gig.
Just a weird thing. I'm curious to ask all the comics, including Steve and Bowers. For the first like 13 years I did stand-up, I noticed that I wouldn't make eye contact with the crowd unless I was doing crowd work. I would just kind of space my eyes out in the air above their heads. And then like 6-7 years ago, I started delivering every joke directly to someone's eyes, and then I'll shift to somebody else and somebody else. How do you guys do it?
Oh, I mean, I guess it just depends on the venue. Like a comedy club, I actually make eye contact with people, and if it's going well, it's great. If it's not going well, there's just like, you know, that dialogue where you're like, kill yourself. But
like a corporate gig.
Yeah, exactly. But I've started to do more theaters, and it's even weirder now where you can't see anything, and I find it weird not to be able to see anyone. I would like a little bit of eye contact or a little bit of something as opposed to just a black nothingness.
Mm-hmm. How about Stephen Bowers?
I mean, I started doing, it wasn't even comedy. I was a motivational speaker in high schools and middle schools for 20 years. So I cut my teeth at 22.
Bragging.
Being in front of I cut my teeth being in front of 1,000 middle school kids for an hour. So the lights are on in the gym. I have to see all of them, and I got to make eye contact with the ones that are going to make fart noises. So I'm used to like, I make eye contact with the troublemakers in a crowd, honestly, and kind of win them over with the face. But yeah, I like it with the lights on. That reminds me, this was one of the funniest things Steve's ever said to me. One time, Steve and I did a theater gig in Illinois for a 1,000-seat theater, and there were 10 people there. And
by the way, can you at least say this was a long time ago?
Yeah, I would be like, oh, you did a Steve Hofstetter gig. What?
It feels like a long time ago now.
It was a long time ago before the coronavirus was keeping people away from venues.
Yeah. But anyway, so the lights are all on, and Steve goes, "Oh shit, I got to turn the lights off." And I go, "I actually like the lights on better." And he goes, "Well, when you headline 1,000-seat theaters, you can have the lights however the fuck you want them." And it was the funniest, most self-deprecating thing I've ever heard in my life. Because there's 9 people there. It was totally tongue-in-cheek. It was very fun. So, yeah.
And by
I
the
like
way,
all the lights on, being able to see everybody.
I appreciate that. Bowers is very kind of you. And by the way, I have seen Bowers' high school speech. It is an excellent Scared Straight program. I would say that for me, I only like seeing the first couple rows. Beyond that, like let people be in the darkness. And I will fake eye contact most of the time. I will typically look at someone's forehead, and as someone who has a generously proportioned forehead, I try to find similar. But I also, every now and then, if someone's not paying attention, I'll use eye contact to try to get them to pay attention. And also, if you got one of those people who's just not laughing at anything, like I'll use eye contact to try to break them. Because, make them feel self-conscious about it. But most of the
same
time,
that I do.
I'm looking right here.
That's the same that I do, but that's weird that you're looking just right above their eyes. Why not look in their eyes? Do you feel like it distracts you? Because I felt like when I started doing it, it just made me make sure I'm relating to people every joke I tell.
Some of these people have beautiful eyes. I don't want to get lost. Tim McLaughlin, what about you?
I look over people's heads mostly, unless there's an old man, and then I look right in his eyes, and hopefully I can watch him.
We have some more Venmos coming in. So Brad Fredrickson throws in $10 and says #AlphaBen for Prez.
Turn
Megan
up on
Smith
that right there. Thank you.
Megan Smith throws in $5 and says for Liz with a happy and a clappy emoji. Brittany Thurston throws in $2 and says for Liz from one of the recycled. Yeah, much appreciate everybody. Jared, we got more coming in on your end?
We sure do. Let's see here. For Liz, we got a couple more. Ben Garver, who gave $10 to Liz, but forgot to say that it was for Liz, but then in the comments said it was for Liz, so I caught it. Gave another $5 just to make sure that $10 went to Liz. He said that 10 was for Liz. I used too many swear words. Then I was confused. So here's another $5 for Liz.
I love confused money.
Razor gave $5. Last time that I did the Queen Rachel position, I mispronounced the name Razor as Rakeser because that's how it's spelled. And so Razor put, first of all, Queen Jarrett, my name is, get my name right, Razor. And then for Liz, it would have been more, but I'm out of Pop-Tarts. We also got a couple of super chats. Since that one guy got his show that doesn't exist plugged for $2, we have people give money to get non-existent show plugged. Scuba Hannah RN gave $4.99. Steve, please come to North California coast so I can get my copy of Ginger Kids signed. Hag Samich. I don't know what that means. And
You're
then
Jewish. Holy shit, Jared.
Oh,
What's
shit.
Hag Samich?
Chag Sameach.
Oh.
Wow. So, don't you know Chag Sameach is actually in the 6th Harry Potter book? He's a young Jewish wizard.
I remember.
It means happy Passover, and Passover's is Wednesday. So happy Passover to everybody.
I think it's weird that they would have the word hog in there because of how the Jewish people feel about pork in general. We also had Laura Sparks gave $5, $2 for a show in a random town. So $5 for a show in Wichita. LOL, it was embarrassing how excited I was when Steve commented on my Facebook post about it. I don't know what that's in reference to, but
because I had a show in Wichita coming up in early May, which is a month that no longer exists. So that is going to get rescheduled. It hasn't been rescheduled yet, but that is going to get rescheduled. And then for the other one, Northern California, we actually have San Francisco and Sacramento on the calendar for July. We have not announced it yet because everyone's afraid. So
that is a crazy update. I don't know if you guys heard in the news. May has been pushed back to August this year. So that's
yeah.
Like a
we're gonna jump straight to June.
quarantine. Everything is a Tuesday in March.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can I
We also have
a hotel room. Go ahead.
Sorry, we have one last super chat to get to. Grant2053 gave another $2, asking for a 30-second roast of Steve because he is my favorite. Does anybody
That is
want to
the
roast
opposite
Steve
of what you do to your favorites.
30 seconds?
Yeah, we do. By the way, we have been talking about maybe doing a roast version of this at some point. So we're happy to do that. But yeah, bring it on.
To roast Steve, you just need to turn your lights up to the highest setting of that three-way bulb.
So on right there.
I'm a nice person. I got nothing.
Ben, you got a roast of Steve?
I don't know why my phone keeps going on mute. That's never happened before. I guess the people in control say maybe Steve Hofstetter could be muting me pre-roast. I don't know what's happening there. Steve is so orange.
Are you worried, Ben? Are you worried that Jews control show business? Ben Gleiberman? Is that?
Well, at least I had the decency to shorten my name, Hofstetter.
Yeah.
He was so orange. Halloween tells him, "Hey, tone it down, bro. Tone it down."
All right, are we ready for our next comment, guys? Are we think we're ready for the next
comment? Yeah,
let's
do the next comment.
Before we do that, we want to say goodbye to Liz. Liz, thank you so much. I know she has to go care for that tiger before he tears her arm off. So, so what are your plugs, Liz? Give us your social media. Where can we find you?
Everything is at Liz Miele on all the things, and then I think a fan mentioned it. My first album came out 5 years ago called Emotionally Exhausting. I released the actual footage of it, the taping of it, on YouTube for free. So you can go to youtube.com/Liz Miele and you can see my entire first hour for free. I have a second one that you can stream or buy. I have a special coming out soon. I now have a podcast called Two Non-Doctors because I don't have a job. So I've avoided podcasting for 15 years, and then this quarantine made me do it, and I'm not happy about it. But it's with if anybody's like no, I'm sure you know Maria Shahada. She was an American comic, now she's in London, but she's my co-host, and we're idiots and we give bad medical advice, because that's helpful right now. And but yeah, it's just us being stupid talking about what we Google because we don't have healthcare. But thank you for having me. This was really nice. Thanks for having me. Thanks for giving money. I'm really grateful, and I do have to go take care of this tiger.
Thank you. One more time for Liz Miele, everybody.
Liz Miele, everybody.
Liz, great job.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Excellent. She has to make it to the clock tower before the lightning strikes. So we appreciate you being with us.
And that's Miele is how you spell Miele. So Liz, Miele. Damn, we got to get to the clock tower now, Marty.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for spelling that out for those who couldn't read it on the screen. So with that, let's go to our next comic.
I'm not looking at the broadcast feed. I'm looking at the Zoom. Okay, Steve.
It's always on the screen.
Such a beta.
It's all right.
All right,
Let's introduce Tim.
stage. Coming up next is this next comedian is literally the dumbest person I know. My favorite person in the world. I mean, this is I call him a beautiful idiot, and everyone agrees. He has a rating show where he rates things around his apartment called "Is It Tight" on Instagram and YouTube. a fake improv master's class from his apartment. And he is a 5-time winner of the Great Indiana Mike Off. Give it up for Tim McLaughlin, everybody. Tim McLaughlin.
Chris Bowers, thank you so much. What a time. My girlfriend is not happy right now. How are we, guys? I'm having fun. I'm at my girlfriend's place, which is great because I moved to New York after making $12,000 in a year. I made $12,000 living in Chicago. And see, here's the thing. I was making $12,000. I was talking to my accountant, and he was like, "You should not have an accountant." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good call. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Dad. I don't know what to do." So I was making $12 a year. Then my buddy Tom calls me, and he goes, "Hey, man, I got a room opening up in my house in Brooklyn for $500 a month. You want to move?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll move." Because when you make $12,000 a year, you don't really have anything holding you to where you're at, right? So I just left. Got there, room, strong word. Holy shit. Never sell the word room. 2 real walls. Two walls. Want to know? You want to guess? Queen Rachel, you want to guess what the other 2 walls are?
What were they?
Well, good guess. They were blankets. Blankets. But I'm a 33-year-old man living in a motherfucking blanket fort. I live in a blanket fort. I'm here at my girlfriend's house. It's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to hang at my girlfriend's studio apartment where it's just her. I live with 4 other men. I share that basement with another man, and he has 3 walls. He has 3 walls because he was on Colbert. So he got an extra wall. House works. If you get whatever TV credits you get extra walls. I lived with Tom Car. He was on Comedy Central, Conan. He had his own bathroom. It was nice. Oh man, it was horrible. So I'm glad I'm living it out here in this regular apartment because you can't. And here's the thing: I don't know how I have a girlfriend now because you can't bang when you live in a blanket fort. You can't. And I lived in a basement with no windows, and it was a blanket. Like if I brought someone down there and they're like, "Yeah, I'll fuck you down here," I'm like, "No, this was a test and you failed." So, tell me I don't have to wear a condom. I'm not gonna. We're both getting some. You know, it's bad. It's bad. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try this new bit, see if it works. It's very funny, I think. So that's a bad start. This is how my set. Bowers was like, "Do your normal set." This is how it normally goes. I do one bit, and then I start talking about how I'm gonna do another bit, and I may get to it. I'm not positive. No, okay, so here it is. So my mom, I remembered this the other week when I was just walking around trying to find work, and I remember my mom when I was 16 years old, my brother was 12. She sat me and my brother down, and she goes, "Do you boys know what menopause is?" And we were both like, "No." And she was like, "Well, I'm going to explain it." And we were like, "That sucks," but she did it anyways. And she was like, menopause means that my body is going to be changing and things are going to be different inside of me, and it's going to make my emotions a little crazier. So out of nowhere, I might just start acting crazy. And if that happens, it's the menopause. And what I want you to do is say, "Hey, Sue, you're acting a little crazy right now. It's probably the menopause, and I will calm down." I don't know if you guys have ever had your mom just straight set you up, right? My mom fucking set me up. It was a setup. She's making dinner one night, and I'm just sitting there chatting. I say something a little off color, nothing different from usual, and she just starts losing it. And I was like, I've been taught what to do, right? So she starts losing her mind, and I go, "Hey, Sue, you're acting a little crazy right now. I think it's the menopause. You need to calm down a little bit." And she takes a beat and she goes, "Oh, I'm crazy? Oh, that's right. I guess I am fucking crazy. I'm fucking crazy because I have two fucking assholes sitting at this table with me, and I have a husband that works 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I'm stuck with two fucking assholes all the time. Yeah, maybe I am fucking crazy. You ever think about that, you piece of shit?" I was like, "No, I haven't thought about that." And she was like, "Well, guess what? I'm fucking crazy, so fuck you." And then she just left. She left the house. She got in her car and drove away. And then 3 minutes later, she came back and she goes, "I can't cry and drive," and went upstairs. And then my dad came home and he said, "What did you do?" And I explained it to him, and he was like, "You are a fucking idiot. You don't do what your mom says. Are you an idiot?" And I was like, "I guess." In the chat wants to write like a dumb or like a punchline to that. That's as much as I got. I could get like an ending. Like, that's the first time my girlfriend's laughed this whole time. Is waiting to say, "Can I have an ending, please?" I always finish first. When somebody said hormone, I was like, things Tim's never heard. Liz was talking about going on ghost tours. I went on a ghost tour in New Orleans, man, with Tom, with formerly mentioned Tom Takar. And at one point in the ghost tour, the guy just started talking about vampires. And I was like, "Oh, so we're just going to not even pretend like this thing is real at all. We're just going to bring up vampires now. Okay, that's cool." Oh, goddamn, it was a waste of $33. I don't know, man. Is that it? Is that 5 minutes?
Tim
Yeah,
McLaughlin. Well, he says the same thing at the end of sex. Is it? Is that it? Is it been 5 minutes?
Is that it?
By the way, Tim, I thought that bit about your mom's advice was great until it got super real and super scary.
Yeah, man. Well, it's an amalgamation of six times.
The part where she was emotionally abusing you, I think that might be, you might want to soften that one. But,
that's okay. It's not physical abuse, Steve. You can emotionally abuse people as much as you want.
Yeah. See, that's called Indiana parenting. That's just how it
That's
goes.
right. You got to yell at your kids, yell at your kids, and yell at your kids.
Indiana Parenting was my favorite of the trilogy, by the way. So the tip jar is open. If you guys want to tip Tim McLaughlin so he can afford a third wall, We very much
Take a
appreciate
third
that.
wall, or I'm gonna buy my girlfriend dinner.
Yeah. Since she's been putting up with his shit, we appreciate
boy,
it. Tip
she's
jar is
pissed.
open. You can Venmo top right of the screen. You can also kick in a little something on PayPal at laughfromhome.com, and you can super chat on the YouTube if you want. So throw that in there.
What's so funny about Tim is for a guy with 2 walls, you break the 4th wall a lot, man.
Also, Tim, if at any point during the rest of the show, if I say anything too extreme, please just feel free and say, Ben, you're being a little extreme right now. Calm down.
By the way, we do have some Venmos already coming in. Tyler Stevens throws in $250, says for Tim. I think it said, I don't fully understand what this means. It's something about turning on the AC, but also providing a space heater. Oh, for the joke about menopause. I get it.
Over it now. I am not 16, Tyler. I don't know if my balding is giving it away.
And then Dave Eisner throws in $5 and says, this is a general one, says, here's to COVID-19, changing the meaning of the question, have you been tested? That is absolutely true. Ellen Shaw throws in $5 and says, Tim, as a woman of a certain age, I have mixed feelings, but here you go.
That's a classic response when I'm done doing comedy. Mixed feelings, but here you go.
And then I see we have some coming in on the super chat. So Jack, you want to catch us up?
Yeah. For Tim, we got $5 from E Hole, which is like a K hole, I guess. For Tim, you're killing me, man. Jen Winklepleck gave $4.20. Nice. She says, where can one find Fart Town, Tim?
Well, listen, it's Fart Town is in between. Where would it really be? I mean, I'm the mayor of it, but I've never been asked that question. As long as I've had my Twitter, I've never been asked.
Mayor, you
I had to say it's in between like Taintsville and something else, but I couldn't think of another word.
And top of your balls is Stan.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. What's the top of your balls?
Top of your balls? Top of your balls. Balls
It's
are
also
here.
right near.
Top
It's
is
also
like
right
there, I would say. That area.
Right
Anyways.
Taint, real town.
Z Bunster gave $20. Tim, for another blanket in case you need another room.
Z Bunster pronounced Z Bunster, or should it be Z Bunster? Is this a French thing happening here?
Z Bunster. Tim, for another blanket in case you need another room. Scott gave $5 Canadian, but we're still thankful. For Tim, I once went out with a guy who lived in a blanket fort. I met him at a kiosk where he worked. I should have known. Yeah.
You're selling drones at a kiosk. You don't have a house. I'll tell you that.
I think the guy that sells the drone is like the alpha of the mall kiosk.
Oh yeah.
Also, Razor gave $5 to Tim, saying you can emotionally abuse someone all you want, Tim's girlfriend, and that's when I killed him, Your Honor.
I'm very nice to my girlfriend because she's meaner than me.
We also got a couple of super chats, but that were Chris Asmo did not give money, but he had a joke about Tim said. He said $33 will get you tickets to a San Francisco self-pleasure circle. I've heard. Nice to do with that instead.
Allison Goldberg, call back.
Yes.
You can get there cheaper than that.
Super chats. Kyra M gave $10 so that Steve can educate Jarrett on how to be Jewish because he only went to a 2-hour seminar. All right. Shad gave €2, said, love you, Steve. Don't know the others yet. You never need to say that. It's just you will. You'll know. That's all right. We don't know who you are either. Don't worry about it.
You'll grow to love us. You'll slowly grow to love us during this quarantine. You have no other option.
Razor
That's also how Ben dates.
Grow to love me.
Razor gave $5 for Steve Hofstetter to come to Seattle and have Professor Zara open for him. Oh, that must be.
Oh,
Bowers,
that's the no. That's the video I released today. That's a friend of
Oh.
mine who is a professor who was distracted in the middle of class because two of her students were fingering, like one was fingering the other one and the other one was giving the other one a hand job. And there's audio of it
Hell
because they
yeah.
record all their classes. So there's audio of her freaking out about it in the funniest way. It's great.
Wow.
I put it
Also,
on my
quick-
YouTube this morning.
Quick little behind the scenes performer note. That last little soliloquy I went on when nobody laughed a second ago, I did surreptitiously touch the screen to make sure my mic was not muted, and it was not muted.
Now we have two last super chats to get to. Really big donations. I don't know how to pronounce this. EHC Meyer gave $200, said, thanks all. I'd spend the money on isopropyl gloves and masks, but we're still out of stock here, going on 6 weeks, and the laughs are needed more than ever. Oh, man, our heart goes out to you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. That was
Yeah.
actually, that's how we market the show. We have bought all the stock of masks and everything. So we have no choice.
Thank you so much for that. That's incredibly generous. Thank you.
And
Yeah, thank you.
Sardona gave sorry, I just want to look real quick. There's an SEK. I don't know what that is. 100 SEK.
Kroners,
Question for Steve.
I believe.
Smoosh, Mary Kill, Theo Vaughn, Bill Burr, Bert Kreischer.
So this is, by the way, hold on a second. 100 Swedish krona is worth 10 cents, I think. So I'm gonna do a fuck, marry, kill for 10 cents. Oh, I have here. Oh, sorry, that they gave me the one. Sorry, I Googled it and it said, but it defaulted to one. Okay, so for $10, so who is it? It's Theo Vaughn, Bert Kreischer,
Bill Burr and Bert Kreischer.
Bill Burr and Bert Kreischer. I feel like I've been asked this before. It's always
You
weird. when it's
can't
my
marry
friends.
the other redhead, Steve.
No, because I would have redheaded children. No, I've said it before that I would fuck Bill Burr to see how angry he would get about it. I would. Theo's the one that I'm closest with, so I guess I would kill him so that because he wouldn't get as upset about it, maybe because he knows I don't mean it. And then I would marry Bert Kreischer, but then I would always yell at him to put a shirt on.
But you gotta marry Bert Kreischer because then you can just be half of a Netflix special. All his stories are about his wife, right? So
Yeah,
you'd be
that's
famous.
true. That way I would get a Netflix special indirectly.
Yeah.
This, by the way, is what it would sound like when Steve Hofstetter. This is what it would sound like when Bill Burr is getting fucked by Steve Hofstetter. I'm sick of this every day. Steve Hofstetter fucking me from behind. Enough. I'm sick of always these orange guys thinking they can just fuck the other orange guys. Not orange. I'm sick of it already.
Solid Burr impersonation.
Pretty good.
We also, by the way, just had someone who said no need to air my name, just a gift from a fan, and threw in $200. So thank you very much. We will keep you anonymous. We very, very much appreciate you guys supporting the show. And we have a couple more tips coming in from Tim, or for Tim. We've got $5 from Carrie Klaus. We've got Brad Fredrickson threw in $10, says, for Tim, so great. Please come back and ramble at us again. And we have Christopher Capo for Tim. Gave $5 so he can buy a $5 foot lighting for his a $5 foot long for his girlfriend. I thought it says foot ling, which is weird. And then says, sorry, Tim, you have to buy your own sub. So I think that was a Tim McLaughlin dick joke.
Do we have any more, Jared? Any more super chats to catch up on?
No more super chats. That's everything.
I think we're ready for our third comic then. Are we ready for our third
In a
comic,
second,
everybody?
let me reposition the camera while you guys are.
One
All right,
thing
can I plug
about
one thing?
Yeah, of course, Tim. What are your plugs, my friend?
Okay, I just wanted to plug, since my girlfriend's been very patient with me doing this, and she's very funny on Twitter, I want to plug at Micah Fox. So at MYKAFOX on Twitter and Instagram, and she's very funny. And we've been making videos together in the quarantine. And for her putting up with me doing this when we were watching Unorthodoxed, I wanted to plug her shit. So there you go.
Well, now what's your Twitter is Mayor of Farttown?
Twitter's Mayor of Farttown. Instagram is hot_comic69.
This is, by the way, very clearly exactly who's in control of your household. People should start leaving you beta comments. You're apologizing for you having to work for 1 hour and make money during a weeks-long quarantine and pausing your binging cycle and the other part.
Thank you for respecting me, Ben.
Well, thanks, Tim.
And
we
also,
appreciate it.
Yeah, very much. And as an example, as Steve repositions his camera, just an anecdote about Steve, since Bert Kreischer was just brought up, to show you how ahead of his time Steve Hofstetter is. Steve put together a tour. I would say the year was probably 2004, where I went and toured theaters and clubs on the East Coast and the South with Bert Kreischer and Eddie If, and Steve called the tour the Virtual Comedy Heroes Tour, which is no
tour
17
of,
years.
It was
Yeah.
so that was a tour of, you know, comics who had like some sort of internet following, like, you know, comics who were doing well on MySpace. That's how long ago it was, and things like that. And we also, it was fun. We got to fuck with each other. So I was on it also. So was Adam Hunter. And an article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution came out, and they compared all of us to different comics, saying like, oh, if you don't know them yet, you might, you know, like them if you like this comic, etc. And so I copied and pasted it, and then I photoshopped the article and showed it to Adam, and had like all of us being super complimented. And then Adam's was compared to like, if you liked, it was Bill Engvall or early Carrot Top. A lot of fun.
Nice. Are we ready? Steve, are you ready in position?
Also,
Yes,
just
I am.
one
I'm
quick
ready.
one quick last fact on that tour to show you how not virtual comedy heroes we were. Yet another empty theater. It was me, Eddie If, and Bert Kreischer booked to do the Georgia Theater in Athens, Georgia, like a 700-seat 2-decker theater. We had 6 tickets sold, so we went barking, begging, and pleading for people to come in before the show. And we got up to about 30 people that came and attended that show, and it was ridiculous. But Bert Kreischer's shirt was off even back then.
That is especially weird because the show that we did in Atlanta sold out. But I'm happy to have you on the tour.
All right, with no further ado, coming right now. Oh my God, it's been 3 weeks. We're ready for him. We're here to stand up. He has over 100 million views on YouTube and 500,000 subscribers, which you guys are. So thank you. Give her the one and only Steve Hofstetter, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a tough gig to get, so I appreciate it. I want to tell you a little bit about my family. My sister Sharon, she's adopted. She was adopted at 10 days old, and she's 14 months older than me. So you may have just figured out 2 things. 1, she's been my sister my entire life. And 2, I'm a mistake. Yeah. No one goes through the rigors of adoption and 5 months later thinks, what if we just grew one? Like it's still way better than the other way around, because like, what if they had her and then or what if they had me first and then after me they were like, we should probably buy one. I figured out I was a mistake because we had a school project assigned to us, and when I was 8 years old, a teacher assigned us a project to research our family, and 8 is too young to research your family. It's too young. Every one of our families has something that should not be in a diorama. Every single one of us. Mine was that I'm not supposed to be here. And I figured this out because my mother tells me the whole story about the adoption, tells me that, you know, that it was difficult because it was supposed to be a closed adoption, but someone in New York State fucked up, gave the biological mother our last name, And, now we have to live in fear that she might try to contact us one day. And then she moves on to me. And she says, you were born just 14 months later. And I said, oh, am I adopted? She said, no, I got pregnant with you. And I said, when? She said, well, pregnancy takes 9 months, so 5 months after Sharon. I said, oh, so 5 months after you adopted a baby, you decided to have another baby with a 5-month-old baby at home. You thought the best idea. Am I a mistake? And she tries to smooth it over. My mother goes, no, honey, no. You were a surprise. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it better, okay? 9/11 was a surprise. Someone planned that. By the way, I know there are people at home watching this now still audibly going, ooh. Like that. That joke never gets a laugh. I just think that this is where I forget the next part of my set. The thing is, like, I've not done these jokes in so long. I'm crumbling under this. Because I figured, I was like, why don't I do some of the newer stuff that I'm trying to work on for tomorrow, that I'm doing the long show tomorrow. I'm like, why don't I do some of the newer stuff? I was like, no, I'm gonna do the tried and true stuff that I definitely know, that I can remember no matter the situation. And Bowers is like, no, you should really do the new stuff. That'll go great. And I was like, fuck you, Bowers. So anyway, yeah. Bowers is falling out of his chair right now. I'm not even watching, and I know that Bowers is falling out of his chair. By the way, I'm glad you guys are taping the comics, because this is way harder than it looks. So I can't wait to do this hour 3 times tomorrow. Yeah, it's like you lose your place as a comic. It's hard to think about it again. But I will say that I do love this time of year. Normally, normally when you can go outside and outdoors and stuff. I'm a big wuss when it comes to weather. I once performed in Winnipeg in January for 2 weeks because my agent is a dick, and it was 60 degrees below zero. 60 degrees below zero. That's what I call religious weather. Because you walk outside and you say, "Oh my God," and then you die and you meet him. Unless you're an atheist, then you are just cold. But still, 60 below zero. I want to put that in perspective for you for a second. 60 below zero. That means if it warmed up by 92 degrees, it would be freezing. Loud. Hope it gets freezing outside. That'd be so much warmer. If I'd said those words out loud, it was ridiculous. 60 below zero. That's colder than it's ever been in the contiguous United States. Our record is 57 below, and that happened in North Dakota, so nobody knew. Like, who was there? It was North Dakota. It was just like a thermometer in a field and a cow next to it going, fuck! Like, that's all it was. I talk to it, it gets that cold. It's creepy. You go inside the house. But even in that weather, people were still shivering outside smoking a cigarette. I was like, how amazing is that? That in 60 degrees below zero, it's still shivering, smoking a cigarette. How cool is that the cigarette was not the health risk in that equation? It would be healthier to stay inside and snort cocaine. That would be a better idea, because that's an indoor drug. Don't take cocaine outside. It'll blow everywhere. I'm glad. I should have known who I'm playing to. You guys are a cocaine crowd. I appreciate it. That's good. What I love about this is that I know I'm safe, because like if I do drug jokes when I'm on the road, I don't know what kind of drug crowd it is. You know, like you never know. Like I'm always afraid to make fun of meth. I'm terrified to make fun of meth. Because, like those are people you do not want to piss off at all. Like that, because they, and I would know right away, because there'd be someone in the crowd being like, "That's not funny, man. That's not funny." If you use your teeth, which is hilarious, because you need teeth to say the word meth. Nature's intervention is what that is. That is. But I want more meth. But your life is enough of a meth. the commercials. Come on, Matt. Once. That's I think that's about 5 minutes for me. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
The camera back to normal now.
Great job, Steve. Great job. Yeah,
Very, very funny set.
Thank you. And by the way, I will tell you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I just wanted to say I don't want to get technically accurate on you here, but it's actually a misnomer that pregnancy is 9 months. It actually lasts very close to 10 months. So really, your parents made that mistake just 4 months later.
Well, that makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
So my birthday is September 11th. That means I'm a New Year's baby. So let's party like it's 1979. The thing that threw me on that, by the way, is the thing where I lost myself was when I went off script. When I went, because I haven't said the words in a row in a long time, and that's a relatively new joke, and so I completely forgot what came next because I ad-libbed. And that's crazy for me because I'm someone that ad-libs all the time. But the second I ad-libbed, and all of a sudden I'm like looking in my room and I'm like, shelves, curtains, tripod. This is weird.
Steve, I was debating whether I should throw you the next line because I work with you enough. I kind of know where that's going. So
Yeah.
like, well, should I throw him out the next line, or is that going to be?
That would have been hilarious if I was just like line.
I'm telling you,
I mean, Steve.
her number one thing of the show so far is her moan. Second is Steve Hofstetter losing his place in the middle of his stand-up on his own show.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why live comedy is so much better than recorded shit. Because you have moments like that. You never know what's going to happen. And tomorrow, I'm going to lose my place in front of 150 people 3 times a day. So I can't wait.
I just imagine Steve.
That Steve is debuting tomorrow, the Nowhere Comedy Club, the first ever digital comedy club with a live audience. It's going to be very cool. So Steve is going to be doing the big experiment for everybody. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. And I think you're going to be wonderful. You're good enough. You're smart enough. And doggone it, people like
Much appreciated, Ben. Thank you.
I just imagine Steve in his bathroom tonight doing his entire set into a hairbrush 4 times before he goes to bed.
Oh no, I'm gonna watch my
tomorrow?
last. I'm gonna watch my last video from the tour so that I can be like, how the fuck did these jokes go again?
That's the move for sure. Are you gonna hold a mic or are you gonna go no mic?
I think I'm gonna go a mic. It makes me more comfortable. By the way, here's the logo that we have now, brand new logo.
Yes.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Steve made a logo that involves the skylines of many different cities, since this club is both nowhere and everywhere at one time.
Yeah. So, and by the way, if you can't identify your city on this, move to a bigger city. So,
what's the shrub? See, what's the shrub next to the thing from France? What's that?
you mean the Sydney Opera House?
Yeah.
You uncultured fuck.
I also think that's very, very solid advice that Steve just gave there. If you don't see your city on the logo Steve made up, move to a bigger city where you risk getting coronavirus at a much huger rate so you can be in that logo.
Feel pride in the logo. And I'm wearing a shirt representing a city that's not even in there. My Kansas fucking City shirt, which one of my favorite shirts.
Great shirt.
Thank you.
Steve, I have a question for you, Steve. What happens if you text Steve to 484848?
I don't know if you know this, Ben, but 484848 is not my personal cell phone number. So all that happens.
I thought you were just giving me the cold shoulder on text for the last couple of years.
He's like, hey, Steve, you want to grab lunch? It says Steve's upcoming shows in Los Angeles.
I'm like, Steve is really promoting himself during these lunch offers.
It's also kind of passive aggressive. It's like, hey, you want to get lunch? It's like, well, the next time I'm in LA.
If you buy a shirt, I'll come to lunch. Jared, we have any super chats for Steve? Did he get any tips? How was it for Steve?
We certainly do. Linwood Jackson gave $5. She says, she or he, I have no idea. $5 for accidents. I was too, but mom always say when my sister calls me a mistake, quote, "We had planned on having another child, just not yet."
Oh my God, that is such an excuse. By the way, my favorite thing about that joke is doing that joke and watching people in the audience realize that they were mistakes. It is so much fun.
And that's also like that is such a BS excuse. That's literally like making the poor decision to eat like out of a really shady food truck in a bad part of town, getting food poisoning, and then being in the hospital bed being like, I was going to eat again at some point anyway.
What's funny, Steve, when I used to speak at schools, I used to have this game where they would line up by their birthday, not the year, but just the date. And what I found, I was talking to students, high school kids at lunch or whatever, if you're the first kid, you're kind of born whenever. But if you're the second, third, or fourth kid, your birthday is usually 9 months from your dad's birthday, Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, or Valentine's Day. And when people did the math, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's when your parents fuck." Unless you're Irish, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, being a September baby, that's how it happens. I guess late September, early October are New Year's babies. I think I got away with it. I think I'm a Hanukkah baby.
You guys ready for some more super chats?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. E-Hole gave $5 for Steve. Gonna colonize that forehead and plant crops while I nibble on your ear. Oof, okay.
That is the forehead thing is a reference to PKA, which is a podcast I'm regular on. The running joke is that I have a huge forehead. And by running joke, I mean running truth. But go ahead.
Sean Chandler gave $5. Looking forward to tomorrow morning's comedy. I think Coke is a go-to comedy drug.
Nah, fair enough.
Not gonna argue that.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, I've always lived in New York or LA where we don't have a meth problem. We do cocaine like adults, So
I like how you say we.
No, I don't, but I still can have city pride.
Nah, if you don't do cocaine, you can't say we, motherfucker. That's like saying we, the Mets lost. I mean, come on. Anyway.
Yeah, I apologize. I know that jacket is 50% cotton and 50% cocaine. So my apologies.
By the way, this jacket came with cocaine in both pockets. I didn't ask for it, but I bought it.
Yeah, like some jackets come with like the extra button. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, same little Ziploc bag.
In Bauer's defense, that jacket is the only thing he got in the divorce from the Tiger King.
All right. Jalfi gave €2, which I think is like $800. Describes ad-libbing the way amateurs freestyle. That means. Z Bunster gave $20. Steve for meth. Nature's intervention, though choking, really killed me. FLTO, Flight of Two, I guess that is, gave $9.99. Very funny. Thanks, Steve. Heather Scott gave $10 Canadian. My sister was born in Winnipeg, worst weather in Canada, and that's saying something.
Winnipeg is the coldest place I also have ever been in my life. I was there, and I think it was like -40, but then with wind chill, it was like -300 or some shit.
Yeah, there was, by the way, when
you were never my first marriage. That's the coldest place I've ever been.
That's one of those things where when people say Fahrenheit or Celsius, it doesn't fucking matter. Like at that point.
It was nuts. There was an ice festival that I went to there, and they had all these sculptures in ice, and you just couldn't enjoy it. You're like, why did people do this outside?
Yeah.
Let me go home.
We went to a party. And like after the club, I actually broke up with my girlfriend. I said that wrong. My girlfriend broke up with me while I was there, like in Winnipeg by myself in the middle of the 2 weeks. And that's when she breaks up with me over the phone. And I was like, I was crushed. And the staff of the club was like, oh, let's take you to a party afterward. So we go to a party and they open the front door of the house and just a smoke cloud billows out. And I'm like, fuck, I don't smoke. I'm going to feel uncomfortable. And then I realized, no, that's just steam. That's just what happens. Winnipeg.
You guys got weed in here? No, we got heat. Like,
Jared, what else we
when
got?
I was in, oh, sure, go ahead.
Two last ones to get to. Hulk 14191 gave $49.99. No comment, just had like a little animated GIF.
Well, thank you, Hulk. Much appreciated.
And
Thank
there's
you so
one
much.
comment that was really funny that was not a super chat. Stephanie Odd said Steve heckled himself.
Yeah, that is true. Absolutely.
Steve,
Oh my
you
God,
have
Steve,
to
you need to-
release
you need
that
to
as
put
a clip. You gotta go.
Comedian
Steve
Hofstetter
Hofstetter
destroys
destroys Steve's Hofstetter. That's so good.
We actually just
Heckler,
had one
Heckler
more.
destroys. Heckler owns comedian. That's what that just was. I was
We
just
actually
both.
had one more super chat come in. Jessica Kibble, $24.99. Thanks, Steve. At least you had someone to play with. I had dessert baby, and the next sibling is 10 years older. I thought I had menopause.
Oh shit. Well, I do. Yeah, I do. I do realize that I was lucky in when the mistake happened for sure. So speaking of mistakes, Christopher Capo throws in $5 on the Venmo and says that he realized he was a mistake because his dad was an asshole and cheated on his wife with his mom. So he was a mistake because he was an affair baby. Holy shit. That's awesome. Also, we have
he's a side kid. That's amazing.
oh my god, he's a side kid.
Kid. Oh no.
That is a wonderful new term.
Side kid. I've never heard that.
All right, we also
And
have
also, it's more likely that that baby comes from love, at least, so that's good.
Yeah. We have an anonymous one coming in. Anonymous one from an exhausted Queens EMT. Here's $5. Thanks for the laughs when they're most needed. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And I especially, since I'm a Queens boy, and thank you for taking care of my own. Thank you. Alan Shaw throws in $5 and says, "Can't wait to be in the Nowhere Comedy Club audience tomorrow night at the 6 p.m. PST. And bummed that the T-shirt I ordered won't be here in time." Yeah, we actually have. We already have Nowhere Comedy Club T-shirts. They're gonna be on the website. We're gonna have the new logo on the new ones. It's similar to the old one, but now we got color in it. It's nice. And then we've also got.
Did you put every city on the back of the shirt, or in the whole world, since it's everywhere?
Yeah, exactly. That's where the tour is coming. Every single city. No, we should. I just want to list all the cities I've never been to as the tour shirt. Like, that's perfect.
That's funny.
So then Miguel Trevino throws in $10 on the PayPal. I don't see a comment, but thank you very much. Tyler Stevens throws in $2.50 and says to Steve, never stop trying new material. Absolutely agree with you. Something's Fishy throws in $5. Thank you much. Jane Bishop just throws in $10 on the PayPal. Thank you much. Jennifer Kofed throws in $5. Says, bummed I missed the show last night. Apparently your kid is supposed to come first. Whatever. Thank you very much, Jennifer. And we've got a whole bunch for the game. Jared, are we caught up aside from the game?
Yeah, just one last one that came in from Richard Earl Deary Jr. Gave $20. Said, Steve, I can't wait to see you in November. I got bad news, Richard. You might wait.
It's better be over by November. But also, before we do the game, real quick, does anyone in the live video audience have a question? Yes, we got Lily.
Yeah, I have one. Jen Winklepleck wanted to synchronize dab from everyone on screen, but Ewan from the chat had a better request. Steve, what is the worst heckler you've ever met?
Worst heckler I've ever met. That is actually the opening story on the Steve Hofstetter's Day Off album. So check that out. I won't go into it because it's a very long story. But it ends with me saying words that are perfectly fine in Australia and England, but not in America. I'll just put it that way. Some cultural differences.
Yeah.
Who else has a question? Anyone else in the live?
Have you finished any of your carpentry projects you were working on, Steve?
Yes. So I'm trying to use the time to get some stuff done. I put speaker shelves and a dartboard cabinet. Nothing too exciting. And this is how stir crazy I'm going. I'm gonna build not even a travel merch case, but just a case that I can help sort the patches I sell in. you know, the patches that I would sell if there were fucking shows. Building that to put on a shelf I already have, but I figure it'll help me. It'll help me be organized. You know, that way I can really compartmentalize. You know, like I do so well with my material. All right, let's go to the contest. Do we have some non-contest entries first? Some good ones?
We sure do. First, before we get to that, somebody put in a comment on the Facebook, I think, that said Matthew. It was from a guy named Matthew J. Plummer. Wanted to know if we can get a repository of all guests with links to their social media, maybe something for the website.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Okay, so some non-official entries for the contest. Someone named Jarrett Berenstein from New York. He says, in 7th grade, I bought a brown and red leather poncho with frills. And when I wore it at school, I got teased so hard in the first 5 minutes that I started crying and threw it on the ground in first period and shouted, "It's off, okay?"
It's weird that you still tore in it, though.
Ash Lee said, I have a onesie with skulls and Santa hats, which is a fun combo. That was the onesie that got a $5 donation in the super chats.
Oh, nice.
Carrie M said, I have a really old Scarecrow outfit, and I'm wondering if it was Wizard of Oz Scarecrow from Batman, or just like
Carrie's in the chat.
Yeah, ask
Carrie. Yeah.
I mean, this is the hat, the Scarecrow hat, just kind of like an old-fashioned. I mean,
Wizard of Oz.
That's Wizard of
I
Oz.
could go grab it. I could go show it for you.
Yeah, I think that's more Wizard of Oz. That'd be really weird. I have a really old Scarecrow outfit, and she just comes out wearing like a burlap sack thing over her face and just being like, I will find your fears.
No.
Want to see my mask, Steve?
Yeah.
No, it's got
Jarrett looks into it, and all of a sudden a frilled poncho comes at him, and he's like, ah!
I think it looks more reminiscent of the Wizard of Oz one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had another super chat come in. Jalfi gave €5. Steve's tour shirt idea. If your place doesn't even make it on the list, neither will you ever. Ooh, very fresh.
Oh shit.
Okay.
By the way, I gotta say, I also want to say thank you to so many people. When I posted that picture of all the boxes and boxes of extra tour shirts that I have right now, so many people bought them online, which was both super nice, and also I'm not going to a post office anytime soon, so you're gonna have to wait a couple weeks. But I very much appreciate all the support. It was overwhelming to see how many of those sold. That was really cool.
Let's see here. Last one that's not official entry is from Erin Marie. I have a pair of crocheted elf slippers I wore to school in the 80s for a grade school bake sale. They have 10 bells hanging off of each shoe. I'm forced to wear them every Christmas with the family.
Holy shit. All right, let's do the contest ones now.
I have just very quickly an entry that's also non-official from my own life. Two things. I own this jacket. This is the one that's in the closet that I will find for a future episode. I own this. Puts Bowers.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
I just got an erection, Ben. That's a great check.
Probably the weirdest piece of clothing that I own. I don't know if this is a gag gift somebody made for me. It's a hoodie that has on it a logo as if I ran for president. It's really funny.
Insane idea. What a bizarre, insane idea.
I know.
That's hilarious. I actually own one of those authentic like 1980s Mets starter satin jackets. Like the thing that I would have loved to have as a kid. And then my buddy got it for me as a birthday present a couple of years ago. And it's awesome because it's like a thing that I grew up wanting to have, but it's like the same kind that like Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry wore. So that's a jacket where the cocaine should absolutely come in the pocket, but it doesn't, unfortunately.
Talking about cocaine jackets, this is the jacket from the Comedy Caravan. We bought the Comedy Caravan in Louisville. And the front says Tom, because this is Tom Sobel. If anybody's ever been a touring Midwestern comic, Tom Sobel ran almost all the rooms in the 80s, and there was cocaine in this jacket when I got it. This was in the closet, and it's my favorite stupid jacket of all time. So maybe I'll wear that.
Oh, I also want to see what Chrissy ran to go grab, and also I have a weird Chewbacca type jacket that I will wear in a future episode as well. I look like basically it's like a fur Burning Man-esque ridiculous thing that I love.
Go to Chrissy's boots. Yeah, Chrissy's boots are pretty.
Okay, this isn't weird, but this is just ridiculous. So I own these. Like they're just like crazy.
Bauer's jacket.
Yes.
I'm glad that between the two of you guys used every part of the animal. I think that's great.
Unicorn.
I'm like, fuck me
all
like
right,
one of my
let's
sparkly jackets.
do the contest. Let's do the contest.
Okay, so so for the contest, the person that gave money was actually to put that onesie with the skulls and the Santa hats into the contest. So that is an official entry.
That is an entry in the contest.
Yes. Okay. Candace B gave $10. She said, "My husband bought me a sequined gown in our first year of marriage. I still have it." That sounds nice. That doesn't sound weird.
Yeah, that's actually kind of nice.
Yeah,
it'd be weird if it was on your first date. That would count for sure.
Jen Winklepeck gave $5. "I want to nominate my wiener shirt from the show yesterday, minus the Instagram photo."
Yeah, that was very, very solid. She has a crazy hot dog shirt that once she showed us, her dog tried to eat.
Ben Garver gave $5. Let's see here. "Saw a man wearing a mesh fishing hat to cover his aluminum helmet." Shouldn't count because it's not his.
Yeah, that can't count because it's not yours, but still a solid share. We appreciate the share. Yeah.
At Shrianiga, I don't know how to pronounce that, gave $5. "I have a dress covered in galaxies and stars and leggings that look like really futuristic robot legs, fun to wear at the same time."
Oh, I get
holy
it.
shit.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That's a fun Comic-Con outfit right there.
Yeah.
Heather Scott gave $15. Black and white vertically striped backless jumper, one-piece outfit, long flowy pants that makes me look like a circus performer. Worst part is that to pee, the whole thing has to come off.
I love the idea that, like, I don't know where you got that, and I wonder whether or not you can get the rest of MC Hammer's outfits.
Okay. Shade or Sade gave €5. "Hey, Steve, big fan, kind of jumped in mid-sentence, but we're doing weird clothing items. I got a pink French-made dress as a guy, so ... Jeremy Day gave $10. "I own a Mad Hatter-style hat with 2 Christmas trees, a truck, a pair of antlers, with a red and green glitter deer head." Wow.
What in the all on one piece of clothing?
It's got to be on one hat.
Holy shit.
Elizabeth Ann gave $5. "A red sweater that looks like E. coli 0157HZ growing on an EMB agar plate. I was a microbiology nerd," she clarified.
It's just a sweater with a red dot on it, but she knows what it is.
Yeah.
And the last official entry, the Knitting MT gave $4.99. "I have a scrub top my mom made me that looks like the TARDIS from Doctor Who." That sounds dope.
Oh,
yeah. By the way, and I did just get a Venmo from Ellen Shaw saying that USPS picks up at your door. They absolutely do, but I don't have the print at home stuff. So I still have to wait a little bit to ship. We also have a couple more entries on the Venmo. So Brittany Thurston says, "My closet is a trove of fabulousness. I'm torn between the adult-sized corgi onesie, the vertical stripe primary colored red, yellow, blue maxi dress, and a Monster Mash themed hoodie, all of which I have to or will wear to work this month." That is awesome.
Lose everybody.
And then Dave Adler says, "I still have hypercolor jeans from the 90s that still work." Is amazing. Yeah, that is. And also said that I was wearing them in a hypercolor shirt while visiting my sister on campus. Her roommate saw the shirt and asked how it works. Told her you have to touch or blow on it, and then I mentioned the pants work that way as well. That is, yeah. Working hypercolor shirt. That is or hypercolor pants. That is a solid entry. That is some old school shit. All right, let's vote on this. If you are if you are watching on the Facebook, on the Twitch, or on YouTube, please make sure to vote in the comments so we can see what the fans like as well. And with that, Tim had to bounce, right?
Yeah, Tim's out. Liz is out.
All right,
so
cool. Tim and Liz had to leave, and so let's give the first vote to Bowers. What do you got?
Well, Robot Legs was a solid choice. I think the pink maid outfit was also funny, but I got to go with hypercolor pants. Hypercolor pants, still to have them to this day, because that was part of the rules. You got to still own it. Was pretty impressive. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Ben Gleib, what do you got?
My vote goes to the hat with the Christmas trees on it.
Yeah.
Which sounds pretty ridiculous, and that's coming from a man who owns these shoes.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
He wins the albums.
Amazing in a time that you can't even travel down the road and back again. So we
You better believe that. Or can
Ben,
you
your
have a
heart
party
is true.
with big gifts or small gifts?
Yeah, you can't. None of those
Thank
lyrics
you for
apply.
being on Zoom.
Yeah.
And if I threw a party, you know the quarantine was done, but we will never see each other again. So from now it will always be through these fucking boxes.
Ben, that theme was golden. What is the what's Jarrett? What's the consensus in the comments? What do we got? What do you think we have the most votes for? Or is there's a tie or
hypercolor, 3 for hypercolor, pink maid, galaxy outfit, hypercolor, pink maid, tart, 1 vote for the TARDIS.
We're not actually counting. I'm just, what is the general, a lot of people are writing?
Looks like hypercolor is taking it. That
Looks
seems to be
like
the fan
hypercolor.
favorite. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I was gonna vote for the flowing jumpsuit because I didn't think any other outfits, you know, the whole stripe MC Hammer thing, because I didn't think any of the other outfits could touch it. But I decided that, thank you, one person who got that, but I decided that once I heard the hypercolor thing, the fact that you have an actual working hypercolor today, it's fucking ridiculous. That's the best one. So I think hypercolor wins it. So
yes,
I believe that
please
was
upload a
Dave.
video. Please upload a video so we can show it.
Yeah, if we could see the hypercolor. Well, actually, Dave joins us on the front row. So when you're back on the front row, which you just want a ticket for, we will reach out to you. Jarrett, please get his information. We'll reach out to you and give you another ticket for the front row. We want to see the hypercolor at work when you come join us. This was super fun. Like we said, tomorrow, 3 shows. One of them is already sold out. The other 2 have a couple of tickets left. nowherecomedyclub.com. I'm performing at all 3. And then I will be hosting shows later on in the week for Daniel Muggleton, Brett Druck, and Ida Rodriguez, who you have seen on this show as well. So get your tickets and let's prove this concept can work so that we could do full live shows. So that said, Chris Bowers, plug.
My album drops Tuesday. Unpopular Opinions. BowersAlbum.com. You can go to the pre-sale right now. BOWERS album.com, and you can pre-order on Amazon or iTunes, and then it comes out Tuesday.
Excellent. And I already did my plugs. So watch the show tomorrow. See how many times I fuck up right after this show. I'm going to be sitting watching my last set from Orlando on March 7th about 100 times. So I'm gonna try not to fuck that up as badly tomorrow. But if I do, you all will be part of it. So and with that, let's toss it to Ben Gleib.
Yeah, please get Bowers' album. Please support the Nowhere Comedy Club's show coming up this week. Just follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at Ben Gleib, YouTube /BGleib. My podcast Last Week on Earth. Thank you, Isolation Nation, for being with us. As always, it is so much fun. It's the best hour and a half of every day. And don't tell my girlfriend I said that. That's it. Am I supposed to keep talking?
I assume Taylor's playing the music now. Taylor, you're playing the music now? Yeah, let's